Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Tony from Comics Galore and today we're going to be doing top 5 Iron Man suits. Now today's list is comprised of my favorite suits as well as some honorable mentions. Now I'm not saying that these are the best suits of all time, they're just my personal favorite for one reason or another. But besides all that, let's just get into it. The first suit we'll be starting with is the Mark I suit. The beginning to the crazy collection of Iron Man suits that Tony Stark possesses. The suit comes with the standard arc reactor as well as thruster boots, but has the additional flamethrower, and if it weren't for the suit, Tony Stark wouldn't have the inspiration or willingness to be Iron Man. Therefore, we probably wouldn't have the Iron Man that we have today, or an Iron Man in general. Now, the next suit on our list is the Mark 46 suit seen in Captain America Civil War. Now, I like this suit for a lot of reasons and got me really hyped to see Iron Man in this movie. Now, the first thing is just the way that it looks. I think that this is one of the most aesthetically pleasing suits that we've seen in the MCU, as the colors are perfect, and I do really like the extra thrusters and such that he has on the suit. Now, the weapons with this suit are the standard chest arc reactor, the repulsors in the hands, he has the rocket boots, and he also has the laser on the wrist, as well as a few other little surprises that we may not have seen yet. I hope that this suit does get used in maybe another movie containing Iron Man, possibly Spider-Man Homecoming. I mean, every nerd can dream, but... Next up on the list is the Extremis armor. Now, I'm personally a fan of the armors that Tony has linked to him via his mind or linked via his body. I find that whole concept very interesting. The first time that I actually read about this armor, I was very, very excited to see what they could do with this and hopefully see it transferred over into the MCU with how great special effects are these days. It would look pretty cool. What I really enjoy about this armor is the fact that it's linked to Tony's body, like I had already mentioned, but it takes away the whole fact that he needs to go back to the Stark Towers to get suited up. He could suit up instantly right there. Say there's a constant oncoming threat and he's in the middle of a public area. He doesn't have enough time to go back. He could just easily just click suit up. And it's very interesting because it's also self-repairing, which, man, if I was to own an Iron Man suit, it would probably be this one or the next one that'll be on our list. Now, the next suit on our list is the Superior Iron Man suit, or the Symbiote suit. Now, this one, along with the Extremis, is linked to Tony via Extremis, but this is very cool in my opinion because the way that it looks is very unique with the silver and blue, and also he has it so that it can take any form that he so desires. And it's just... Man, if I was to own any suit, it would definitely be either the Extremis or this one, because this is such a powerful design that he could go toe-to-toe with any other hero or villain. He could probably give something to himself that would allow him to have an armor that could withstand fighting Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Well, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. But hey, we never know. Unfortunately, the Superior Iron Man arc is over, but I would love to see maybe that be adapted into the 4th Iron Man movie. Say Robert Downey Jr. finally wants to be done. That's how they could go out with it. Just change it a little bit at the end. But that would be very interesting to see adapted into more comics as well as the movies. So before we get to the number 1 spot, I'd like to give some honorable mentions, as there are a lot of Iron Man suits that I like, as Iron Man is my favorite MCU and Marvel Comics character. I just really, really like Iron Man. But, of course, I can't fit all of them onto this list, and some of you may be thinking, well, where's this, or where's that? Well, here they are. Now, for the number 1 spot, I know a lot of you may disagree with what I may say, but I'd like you all to hear me out, is the Mark III suit. Now, the reason I say this is not because, I'm a crazy fan of the movies, even though I do reference the MCU a lot. I have to admit, as being a longtime comic fan, I really, really enjoy seeing some of these things adapted onto the big screen, as my father and I watch movies all the time, and I'm a huge movie fan, of course. And the reason I picked the Mark III to be number one is because of the experience for me. I never really cared too much about Iron Man before. I was more of just a Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, not too crazy in Iron Man, kind of Captain America kind of person when I was a lot younger. And watching the first Iron Man movie showed what the definitive Iron Man suit is for me and what I really like to see. I mean, of course, it got a ton of new fans attracted, and because of that movie, we have the MCU as we do today, and Marvel is rolling in the dough, as well as Robert Downey Jr., who I'm sure is filthy stinking rich, and it's the best idea he ever had is to be in that movie. But I really feel like, as a fan, for me, that really gave me a little bit of love for Iron Man. And once I finally started to read a lot of the comics, I see that they really did adapt him perfectly, like pretty much flawlessly. Of course, they don't have as much of the alcohol problem, but hey, they maybe will get Iron Man 4 Demon in a Bottle. But that would be fun to see. But all in all, Mark III is at the number one of my list. Now, as I said, a lot of you may disagree with that. This is my list. I'm not saying which is more powerful or one is more powerful than the other. They're just my favorites. And I honestly, if it wasn't for me knowing about the Mark III suit and seeing it, I probably wouldn't be a super big Iron Man fan. But that's not the case, because Iron Man is literally my favorite superhero. He doesn't have superpowers, but that's a debate for another time. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I may do more like this involving Iron Man, as I could talk about him all day. I may do more top 5s about Iron Man related things like stories, but if anyone watches this, I'm highly doubting that a lot of people will, leave your comments down below on who you'd like to see a top 5 on next, or if you have any questions about some of the suits and or stories that feature these suits, make sure to leave them down below, and I'll either address them directly by replying, and or I'll make an entire video based on your question, and I will be able to explain the suit's origins, what story they're in, and possibly their current status on if they're being used or destroyed and anything of sorts. But I hope you all have an amazing day. Once again, I'm Tony from Comics Galore, and thank you for watching.